Welcome to Brewers Daily. I'm your host, Dave Gasper. Lots to get to on the show here today. The Brewers have made some announcements on theme nights for the upcoming season and single game ticket sales. We'll get to that coming up. Also, more news on the World Baseball Classic. But first, I want to start with some positive news on Brewers pitching prospect Frank Chiarone. So, a couple of weeks ago, actually about a month ago here, Frank Chiarone was involved in a head-on car crash in New Jersey back in his home state. A vehicle ran a stop sign, crashed into Chiarone's car head-on, and he had to be airlifted to the hospital with serious injuries. So that was kind of the last we knew. Really kind of struggling. Had some issues. Was in serious condition. But Chiarone on Tuesday here, he posted a video on his Instagram of him tossing a baseball against the wall. He's resumed light baseball activities in his recovery. This is fantastic news. Incredibly happy for Chiarone. This is great in his development. So we don't still know the full extent of what he went through. That hasn't been made publicly available. What his injuries are. We don't yet know what his timeline to returning to the mound is going to be. But the fact that he is throwing a baseball again, he's up, he's looking good. Doesn't have any sort of broken bones or torn ligaments that are keeping him from being able to throw a baseball. That is just absolutely fantastic. So with spring training officially getting started next week, maybe we'll be able to get some more answers from the Brewers then about Chiarone, his status, what his timeline looks like to getting out on the mound. But he is making progress. So that's the good news here. He's throwing a baseball again. It was very light tossing of a baseball in a short video. But the fact that he's throwing again, it does make you believe that okay, he is going to get back to pitching at some point this season. It's not necessarily going to be a completely lost year recovering from that car crash. But we still don't know the full timeline. But just seeing him be back out there, be able to throw, just great. Just fantastic in his recovery, because that was a very, very scary car crash that he found himself in through no fault of his own. I mean, it was the other guy that ran the stop sign and crashed into him. So tough situation all around, but he seems to be recovering and doing well. Brewers took him with the 68th overall pick in last year's draft out of high school in New Jersey there. Left-handed pitcher, really great, projectable pitcher in terms of his stuff. He throws kind of low, mid-90s, room for more velocity to get added, has a really good slider. So, he fits that mold of a projectable young pitcher that the Brewers have targeted in recent years. So I was very excited coming into the year, just seeing what he would be able to do on the mound, how he would develop. I would imagine Chiarone starts the year in the Arizona Complex League. He's probably going to have some extended time down there in extended spring training. Once he does get there, I don't know if his arrival is going to be delayed or not because of the injuries he sustained. But, once he does get down there, he's likely going to spend some time in extended spring training, continue to ramp up, build up, and probably get him some time in the Arizona Complex League before ultimately he's going to end up in Low A Wilson at some point this season. So very excited for that. Excited to see what he can be able to do, and just happy that he's out there healthy and is recovering quite well from a very scary injury. So positive news there on that front. Also, coming up here with spring training starting soon, we got the World Baseball Classic, and we've talked about this a little bit in the previous days. And now the Dominican Republic has put out their full roster here for the WBC, and the Brewers have one player on it, and it is Abner Uribe. He has made the cut. Uribe, flame-throwing righty, obviously a big piece of the Brewers bullpen, what he's done, and he joins an absolutely loaded team from the Dominican Republic. I mean, my goodness. I mean, this is practically an all-star roster here that they have. I mean, just looking at the infield, Vlad Guerrero Jr., Ketel Marte, Junior Caminero, Manny Machado, Jeremy Pena, Geraldo Perdomo. In the outfield, you got O'Neal Cruz, Julio Rodriguez, Juan Soto, and Fernando Tatis Jr. But the pitching staff that Uribe is on also, a very loaded group. You got Sir Anthony Dominguez, Camilo Doval in that bullpen, Carlos Estevez as well, who's been really, really good. You got Dennis Santana, Gregory Soto, another couple of really good relievers in there. And then, of course, for the rotation, you got Sandy Alcantara, Brian Bayo, Christopher Sanchez, Luis Severino. So it is a loaded group that the Dominican Republic has, and Abner Uribe is a part of it. So very excited to see what he's going to be able to do with this group, how he can shine on that kind of international stage, because as Brewers fans, we know what he can do. We know what he can bring. It's certainly a lot of heat. He brings a lot of gas. And it's been, a really big piece of this Brewers bullpen, and he fits right in with that group out there for the Dominican Republic. So it's going to be a very exciting time to see how he performs in the WBC. And he's joining that growing list of Brewers players that are going to be leaving Brewers camp for the WBC during the early part of spring training, which is certainly going to be fun, and it leads to a lot more opportunities for some of those other guys in camp to get seen in Cactus League games, because the Brewers still do have a Cactus League schedule that they got to play, even though they're not going to have Bryce Terang for a decent chunk of the Cactus League. They're not going to have Abner Uribe for a decent chunk of it. They're not going to have Jackson Churio for a decent chunk of Cactus League play, playing for Team Venezuela. So you've got those guys making the moves and making those teams. Very excited for them. It's going to make for a very fun tournament. And so you got some more guys to pull for beyond just Team USA here, which makes for a very entertaining time, and it's why the WBC is really just so much fun every single year. But Uribe is on there as well. We're going to get the rest of the rosters here completely. They have to be put out by the end of the week. So by the time we get to Friday's show here, we'll have the full rosters for every single country for the WBC. So that's going to be coming soon here. And, if there are any more Brewers additions to these rosters, we'll certainly talk about them here on Brewers Daily, as we always do. So, again, be sure to subscribe, get notified every single time a new episode drops. Also, follow me on Twitter at dgasper24. Lastly here, one of the things that I want to get to, that the Brewers announced this isn't an on-the-field thing necessarily, but the Brewers have announced their theme nights for 2026 at American Family Field. And we got some fun ones in here with this group, which I absolutely love. I mean, these theme nights are absolutely great. Seeing fans, being able to get, kind of the extra giveaways, sometimes, dressing up, whatever it is. And certainly the scoreboard always plays along with the theme as well. Like when you have the Star Wars night, which we have again, they like to, play themes on the players' names and the characters' names in the movie. Like Bryce Terang has been Bryce Churang, and he's like photoshopped with Chewbacca. That's like, is just the fun part of it. Star Wars Night, April 24th this year, with a post-game laser show and a Grogu bobblehead. That's right. So if you haven't watched The Mandalorian, first of all, it's fantastic, especially like the first 2 seasons. But Grogu is little baby Yoda. Okay, so like he looks like Yoda, but it's just, a small little like infant Yoda. And if you remember, he kind of took the internet by storm a couple years ago when The Mandalorian debuted. But that's the giveaway for that theme night, Star Wars Night on April 24th. Then you got Bark at the Park. Everyone loves Bark at the Park. You bring your dog to the stadium, giving away a rope chew toy. That's May 12th. So if you got a dog, you want to bring him to the stadium, May 12th, that's going to be the day to look for. Also, a couple of new ones this year. Boy Band Night. That's right, Boy Band Night. So think your NSYNC, your Backstreet Boys. They're going to have that along with a post-game fireworks show, giving away a Brew Crew Boys t-shirt. Sadly, I don't think the Backstreet Boys were able to make it for a post-game concert. That is unfortunate, but still, it's going to be a fun time. Paw Patrol Day on July 19th. So if you got kids, they love watching the Paw Patrol. Giving away a lunchbox with that. Paw Patrol Day. August 5th is going to be Naruto Night. That's right, Naruto Night. Post-game laser show, a Naruto Brewers jersey is part of the giveaway if you buy that specific ticket package. So if you're into Naruto, that's going to be a fun day. That's going to be a game you might want to go to. August 19th is Hello Kitty night. Not necessarily my cup of tea, but hey, they got a Hello Kitty bobblehead. There's going to be plenty of people, plenty of fans who are going to want to go to that, who love Hello Kitty and love the Brewers. So you got that on August 19th. And on September 25th, you have Peanuts Night. That's right. Lucy, Charlie Brown, Snoopy, the whole gang. They got Peanuts Night there. And a Brewers Lucy bobblehead is going to be the giveaway there on September 25th. So those are the theme nights that the Brewers got coming up this year. So you can buy your tickets. You can get the special ticket package in order to get those giveaways along with the bobbleheads, the t-shirts, whatever they are. And those are going to be a lot of fun. And also, along with this, the Brewers announced that single game tickets go on sale February 12th, which is also the day the pitchers and catchers report, but that's the day you can buy single game tickets. So if you got the season ticket package, you've already done your thing, picking out the games that you want. But now if you're just trying to buy a single game thing, if you say, hey, this game on the calendar, I would just want to go to this one, I just want to buy those tickets, you can do that starting on February 12th. So that's coming up next week. So there you go. That's kind of the big news with the ticket sales, the theme nights, the giveaways there, which are all going to be very exciting, very fun. And it's just a sign that we're getting closer. We're closer and closer to baseball here. The truck is on its way to spring training, carrying all the baseballs, all the bats, all the stuff that they need, all the equipment, all the gum, the seeds, because you got to have that. This is baseball. You got to have bubble gum. You got to have sunflower seeds. All that's getting shipped down there. The truck is on its way. It's hitting the highway, and it's on its way to Phoenix. So baseball's coming up soon. You can almost feel spring training. You can almost feel spring. Okay, I know you look outside and you see the snow and you think the spring is not even close. I know Punxsutawney Phil told us 6 more weeks of winter, but it's only 6 more weeks until we got baseball. And, in regular season baseball at that. We only got 1 more week until we have spring training, pitchers and catchers reporting, and I'm very, very excited for that. The long off season can finally come to an end, and we can get focused on baseball actually happening on the field, and it is just going to be a fantastic season once again for this team. They haven't done that much this offseason, obviously trading away Freddie. They made the trade back in December with the Royals. Those were kind of the big things that they did. It's kind of all that they did. They didn't do much in free agency, but then again, they didn't have to. This team won 97 games last year, and they didn't really lose much from it. Okay, Rhys Hoskins went off the team, but Rhys Hoskins was already replaced by the time the season was over last year. Jose Quintana's out. You got a bunch of other starting pitchers that are ready to take over in his place. Shelby Miller was already hurt and out at the end of the year. Jordan Montgomery already hurt and out. Eric Haas, who left, he was already DFA'd and outrighted to AAA. So you didn't really have to replace much on this roster. They didn't have to do much tinkering. They did a little bit, but they're in a good spot. And now, finally, soon, we can get to actual baseball being played. But theme nights are out. Single game tickets are about to be going on sale. And these are all just signs that we're finally about to break out of this winter. And spring is about to begin. And hope on a new season can begin once again. And we'll be back at it still every single day here on Brewers Daily, so be sure to subscribe, get notified every single time a new episode drops. Follow me on Twitter at dgasper24, where I also just dropped news that I'm going to be writing at Brew Crew Ball this season. So if you like, my takes here, in the verbal, in the video format, if you like them in the writing format, they will be there at Brew Crew Ball. So very excited for that this upcoming season. So lots coming up. Everything's about ready to ramp up, and we're about to get going. So appreciate you watching, appreciate you enjoying, and we'll see you again next time for another episode of Brewers Daily.